Hey, what's up? Today we're going to be going over how to do a stoppie pivot around a tight switchback. If you ever struggled to get around a really tight switchback, really good way to get around it is just doing a stoppie pivot. So instead of having both wheels coming around the tight switchback, we can apply our front brake, lift the back end up, push it out to the side, and then set ourselves straight out of the corner. It's really an efficient way to get around tight switchbacks, and it's also just kind of fun, cool, impress your friends when you do it on the trail. They're gonna be like, what the heck, where did you learn how to do that?
All right, let's do a quick stoppie refresh before we get into learning the stoppie pivot around a switchback. You want to start out at about a walking pace or just slightly faster. Have your body weight centered over the bottom bracket or even just slightly over the rear tire. Then just as you're about to grab the front brake lightly, you want to shift your upper body forward. At this point, your rear tire should be off the ground. Now you just want to modulate and feather the front brake, not so hard that you go over the bars, but not so light that you drop the rear wheel. Then when you're ready, release the brake and drop the back tire. Alright, now let's practice the stoppie pivot. Similar technique to the stoppie, except right when we're gonna grab the front brake, we want to turn the front wheel slightly and twist our body, leading with our shoulder. That's gonna kick the back of the bike around. Then just practice doing this a few times. Grab the front brake, twist your body, kick the back of the bike around. Now just take some time to practice doing the stoppie and really getting comfortable using your front brake. Alright, now let's take the stoppie pivot to the switchback. This switchback has a downhill leading up to it, so we're not going to need to shift our weight back to initiate the stoppie. So we want to come in at a slow, controlled pace. As our front wheel is starting to go around the corner, we're going to initiate the stoppie by applying the front brake, lifting the rear wheel up. It's going to start to pivot around. We really want to be controlling our braking. We don't want to lift the rear wheel up too high, and we also don't want it to drop early. So now once the back tire comes around and sets down, we're then going to straighten the front wheel and pedal away. We want to initiate the stoppie pivot about 2 feet or even 3 feet before the corner. Then we're going to be controlling our braking, pivoting the rear wheel around. Once it sets down, then we're going to straighten the front wheel and pedal away. This is going to take practice. You're probably not going to nail it on your first attempt. You really need to get the timing right so you don't drop the back wheel too early or too late. You also don't want the rear wheel to be too high at the wrong time, which can cause you to put a foot down. So just give it some time, practice it, don't get frustrated. You're probably not going to land it on your first attempt. Now, a common mistake when doing this is either grabbing too much front brake or having your weight too much on the inside, which will cause you to put a foot down. So just working on your entry speed, maybe go a little slower or a little faster, practice initiating the stoppie a little bit earlier or a little bit later, and try to avoid having too much weight on the inside, which can cause you to put a foot down right when you're about to drop the back wheel.
Also, if you want to learn more about doing stoppies, wheelies, manuals, I have an ebook out, Balance Point. I'll leave the link in the description. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now you know how to do a stoppie pivot to get around a tight switchback corner. So until the next video, I'll see you then. Peace.